Karibu, welcome to the CM Academy podcast. In this podcast, we celebrate professionals who are using their skill, knowledge, and creativity to craft real solutions to everyday challenges. This podcast is insightful, practical, and inspiring. It's all about turning expertise into impact. Today, we are talking about a subject that is fast becoming part of Kenya's innovative story, that is drones, or otherwise what we call unmanned aerial vehicles or unmanned aerial systems. With me in studio today is Dr. Rodgers Manana, the author of a new book titled The Law Regulating Unmanned Aircraft Systems in the United States, South Africa, and Kenya. This book explores the laws, policies, and challenges shaping the use of unmanned aircraft systems in Kenya and United States and South Africa. Dr. Manana, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Council Stella and CM for hosting me. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you for making time to come and share your knowledge with our listeners. And as a start, as I said in the beginning, that this podcast features professionals who are using their knowledge to create solutions to everyday challenges. They tell us when we are going to school that we do not go to school for us, we go to school for the village. And so welcome and help the village also learn something about drones. So going to the book, what made you decide to write a book about drones?
Thank you very much, Stella. My experience in aviation industry, I've spanning of 18 to almost 20 years now in aviation industry, motivated me to consider venturing into something unique. I kept on thinking, what will I do for my country to make this Kenya more enlightened or on the map of Africa. My journey towards the drones was towards my doctorate degree. I give credit to Professor Washford, one of the leading scholars in South Africa, and Professor 𝐷 who is now a judge at International Court of Justice. They were my supervisors when I was wondering which area to focus and research on for my doctorate. They encouraged me to study something unique, which is a virgin area that has not been published or written by anyone. However, I was now grappling, where do I get the reading material? Because no one in Africa had written about issues of drones, and yet they are here flying all over. People are using them at hobbies, weddings, in all events. The military are using them, but we didn't have regulation. By 2015, 2012, thereabout, Kenya didn't have a regulation on drones. South Africa neither didn't have a drone. But the US, by then, they had just developing in 2012. So my motivation specifically was motivated by my background in aviation and my motivation by my supervisors at the doctorate level. So at the doctorate level, I was able to do a lot of research and travel between here, South Africa, and US. That's when I learned a lot, and I said, let me venture in this uncharted water so that I can also educate our African populace.
Oh, thank you. As you have said, yes. Personally, I used to see drones during weddings and events, but now I know they're even used in farming.
Yes.
And we are talking about regulations. What is the status of the regulatory framework on drones in Kenya? Are we playing catch-up? Do we have a formidable regulation, or where are we at?
Yes, allow me to give us a short background. before I respond to your question.
Okay.
The history of drone and Kenya, our great country, Kenya, by 2015, we didn't have any regulation in the country. Then I had started my research. Of course, the Director General for Kenya Civil Aviation Authority then, Captain �.𝐾𝐫𝐬, I kept on pestering him. He really supported me in coming up with ideas. That's the time 𝐾𝐳A started now formulating the regulation towards the drones. However, it was not easy because by 2017, I remember the regulation were formulated and approved and actually gazetted. However, shortly thereafter, there were challenges. People were fearing, why are you legalizing drones to be flying all over restricted area, the police, the military camps? The drones are going to be used for unauthorized activities. So in 2017, Kenya actually, the parliament annulled, repealed and annulled the already gazetted regulations that were in place. What happened? There was a need for this. Why the regulation were annulled was that they were not adhering to safety, security, and the right to privacy. Because you may be taking a shower in your compound, and someone is flying a drone just taking, and you are limiting your privacy. So the parliament then had to look into that, and Kenya Civil Aviation Authority was given timelines, and they had an implementation matrix. So by 2018, we were in that team that worked with them. And by 2020 now, thank God, the regulation were now promulgated, because at the airport, you find very many people importing drones. But however, they were reaching at the airport, they were forced by customs to dispose them at the airport, because where are you going to use them if they are not licensed in Kenya? That was the big question. However, it was important to have a law because technology is here with us to stay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. When you read the book, you do a comparative analysis of Kenya, South Africa, and the United States of America. What stands out in your research? What stood out for you in the two jurisdictions, that is South Africa and United States of America?
Yes, as a follow-up to what I answered, of course, the regulation, again, they are now under review. I just need to mention this to our viewers, that the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority embarked on review of the 2020 regulation. Now, the 2024 regulation have been forwarded to the minister. I think they are undergoing through normal processes of promulgation. But why I ventured into looking at different jurisdictions and undertaking a comparative analysis was really we wanted to learn from the big brother who is the U.S. Having been in Washington and Miami and Florida, there are issues that I picked and I realized probably technologically, economically, U.S. is ahead of all of us combined. The economy of Kenya cannot be equated to, for example, Los Angeles or California. So what I looked at was to do a comparative study, learning from the best. So that Kenya, as you know, in Africa, we have a hegemonic power over these countries. So Kenya can only learn from the best, and that's US, Europe, Canada, and other jurisdictions. So South Africa, why I was focused, they're also having drone schools by then. They were having a few training academies, training pilots. You remember many pilots who wanted to do either manned or unmanned aircraft. Most of them go to study piloting in South Africa. The government then had really invested a lot in technology, and two, the pilots who were being trained were perceived to be probably with more equipped institutions. So my institution that I was learning in South Africa said now, since I was in South Africa, it's important to talk about the countries. Kenya and South Africa, as a Commonwealth country, we enjoy a lot of bilateral and multilateral agreements. So I said, let me do this study of the three, and it's a representation. Once you get it right in America and South Africa and Kenya, that's a representation now of Africa, and other jurisdictions have fallen the line to also promulgate their own regulation, their jurisdiction. Rwanda, of course, has done very well. I want to give an example. They are using drones, for example, to transport blood banks, medication, HIV medication, and all this to remote areas. Rwanda is a country of 1,000 hills, for example, and some of the areas cannot be accessible. The only way to access is through this drone. However, drones is a common layman or a laywoman's language, but in a professional term, we call them unmanned aircraft system, because they are also within the definition of Article 8 of the Chicago Convention of pilotless aircraft. So an operator of a drone, he's a pilot. He's operating it either from the high sea or the comfort of the bed, but you are a pilot flying a pilotless aircraft. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
So what you're basically saying is that when Kenya gets it right and South Africa gets it right, then the rest of Africa will follow suit.
Yes.
We don't want to start a war with other countries.
No. We benchmark. That is benchmarking from the best practice. I do believe they are learning a lot from Kenya. We are not bragging, but history repeats itself. Yes.
Okay. So maybe what our viewers and listeners don't know, that besides you being an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, you're also in academia.
Yes.
And so having been in academia, would you tell us how we can anchor aviation law and space law into our curriculum? Is it something that is already there, or it's something we need to consider and actively anchor it in the curriculums of universities and colleges?
Yes, the universities, that's a very good question, Stella. And having gone to the best university yourself, they call it the mother of all universities in East and Central Africa, now University of Nairobi. I was there last month. I donated 12 copies to the dean, and the dean has really been very gracious. She has written a very passionate letter to me, thanking me for donating, because it's an area that, of course, needs to be relooked into. When we were going to that university, then I didn't get an opportunity to take an option of air and space law. However, I developed interest later. I went to Montreal at ICAO headquarters, that is International Civil Aviation Organization, where I got certification and I learned, and I got on air and space law and got my certification there. However, having learned from Canada on these matters of air and space law, it is important for our learning institution in Kenya to consider very heavily aspect of air and space law in the learning institution. University of Nairobi has a unit taught by Dr. Ken Obura, my good friend. Sometimes the master's class, he invites me to co-teach with him. And I've insisted that students who took that unit, recently we made a tour for them to the airport. And I saw the enthusiasm and the expectation that they are now already propelled to move to the higher side. So other universities offering law like Moi, I saw Jaramogi Odinga introducing law recently by the good dean, Dr. Wamwara. Kabarak also, I'm told, offers. Strathmore have invited me severally to give a talk to their students. They have a unit on air and space law. But the challenge we have is capacity of instructors. Do we have sufficient well-trained Kenyans who can teach at the university level issues of air and space law? For me, I count myself lucky because I sit and I get a lot of invitation from universities all the way. McGill University, for example, Stella, is the best in terms of air and space law in the whole world. So I am on their yearly visiting lecturer. And whenever I'm there, I meet students from all over the world. And the conversation is, what can we do to be like McGill? The second best institution in air and space law is Leiden University in Netherlands. Then University of Mississippi in the US. So what can we do to leverage on these advanced universities so that the major universities like University of Nairobi do have institution offering and space law. The dean was very passionate, pleading with me why I'm not going to teach. I told him I'll be offering my service on pro bono, just on a part-time basis, because I think the institutions of higher learning today, partly why they're not retaining the high professionals probably is because of remuneration aspect. But we will continue supporting our country because we are good patriots. Sisi ni wazalendo wazuri. Yes. Yes.
I know we will talk about the book launch later on in this podcast.
Yes.
And I know we'll have a number of people attending, so that's a discussion we need to push with them to have people with the capacity to offer these trainings to the young lawyers and even engineers.
Yes.
And anyone else who's interested in aviation and space law.
Correct.
Now, let's come back to, you've written a book.
Correct.
And writing is not the easiest.
Yes.
Writing and publishing is no mean feat.
Yes.
What are some of the, or what is the most rewarding part of that journey as you're writing that book?
Yeah, thank you very much. In life, there's something we call satisfaction. What makes you happy in life? There are people who want to aspire to be bishops, others aspire to be presidents, others aspire to be politicians, others aspire just to be a village elder. In my journey towards this publication, there's a way the level field is so leveled in the academia. And even if the world is so unfair, but at least there's fairness in terms of publication. And when you have a good script, Stella, it will be sought by anyone all over the world. Before we talk about this book, I remember a friend of mine, a lecturer at Professor Scott from University of Leiden, reached out 4 years ago for me to do a book chapter. It's a book we did with scholars from all over the world on South African regulation drones. I completed, and he was expecting to have another author writing about Kenya. For 4 months, they looked for someone to write, and they reached out again for me. Please do two chapters for us in that book. And after it was published and it's now widely read, I see people taking photos of the book in big universities abroad, and they send to me on WhatsApp. I feel the satisfaction. So that also motivated me now to have, apart from having written with my peers, to do my own. And I will have published this book locally, but a friend of mine in the University of Nairobi, known as Dr. Leila Latif, advised, this is a good piece. Why can't you go get the leading publishers? And when I reached out to Oxford, Springer, Walter Schooler, these are one of the leading. I'm great, Walter Springer, who were able to be glad enough, they were gracious enough to me, to publish it. Now, the motivation was not just to sell the book and get a profit. This is the highest time Africa we can tell our own story. Yeah, let us not be told stories from abroad, because as I talk to you now, our children are learning about AI. It's no longer time for us when we were growing up to go to the river and just study about swimming and fishing. Time has come where young children are now going to be operating drones. Now, where will they get this material from if we don't educate these populace? The law firms, for example, you are going to have insurance liability claims. You are going to have accidents. And if you read the book, it talks about the capability of drones to have see and avoid with the normal manned aircraft. Do you know a small bird in aviation, the bird that flies in the air, a small bird will bring down a Boeing 99 or 7, so a Boeing big aircraft. So if a small bird can bring down a big aircraft, and the casualties, of course you can imagine. So the aspect of publication of this book is to encourage the African populace, the academia, The universities, the law firms, private practitioners, we are targeting those who are aspiring even to be now manufacturers of drones in Kenya. Why are we importing drones? We should have assembling and manufacturing industry here. We want to talk to operators, people who are using to use it in farming, rather than chasing locusts with our clapping of our hands. Why can't we then have drones supporting us in farming, agro-business, and all that? Of course, that's the area of focus for this book. And of course, looking at the challenges and the prospects of technology. Yeah, technology is always running ahead of the law, and we must be alive to that. So the book is widely, and I encourage people to have a look. It is actually available online, but the hard copies are here with us. Of course, the Europeans, the publisher is slightly expensive, but we have had a few complimentary copies shipped to us at a discounted price.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, for that insight. You've talked about us as Africans telling our stories, something I'm very passionate about. Actually, at CM Academy, we have a course called Recalibrating Sustainability. Looking at sustainability the African way, because we say we as Africans had the concept of sustainability already. And so it should not be drummed or be made to look like it's a foreign concept we are adopting. So this book is being launched. Can we talk about the day when it's being launched, and how can people come and participate in the launch?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm glad you are one of the advocates of ECG, the governance, environmental, and gender. That's a topic closer to the new generation, because sustainability and ECG are aspects. And in relation to this book, we are talking on how are we going to be to have a sustainable economic growth without relying on donor funding and having all this. So what is happening in developed countries, we are saying now it's our time as Africans to also do it domestically and have our own domestic laws, as well as appreciating international law. And the book is going, this, of course, named the Law Regulating Unmanned Aircraft System in the United States, South Africa, and Kenya. A civil aviation perspective is going to be launched on 4th December, Thursday. Actually, 4th is Thursday, next month, at Weston Hotel. Weston Hotel is on Langata Road. We will be at Lenana Hall. We have invited quite distinguished scholars, senior government officials who are confirming they are coming, advocates, including the former Law Society of Kenya presidents, the current, the vice president, Ms. Chigai, the former vice president of LSK, and now the advisor to the president on women, has graciously even already diarized that. I've seen Council Wanyama Manyonge, who is one of the renowned lawyer in town, confirming, and a few, Council Omari Datson, who is a very good criminal lawyer, and I told him now, even crime relativity, you can only talk of crime with you. Now crime has been escalated to people using technology to commit crime rather than having firearms to move to the banks. You will find robbers, they are no longer having AK-47, but people are sitting at the high seas of Vanga or Malindi or in where? Zanzibar. They are quickly siphoning money from the bank using technology. So crime, transnational crime, has also been evolving. That's why we are saying the book on drones, particularly, of course, I call it drones for people to understand. The common mwananchi to understand. It's timely for Kenya, and it was actually published last year. Unfortunately, the launch has been postponed severally because our target, one of my mentors, Professor Kithure Kindiki, who is now the current deputy president, who gave me a lot of insight at the preliminary stages. I was keen, and I had a discussion with him to be one of our chief guests during the launch. and the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Moses Wetangula. The book talks about also security, and being a CS for security, we are believing that himself, the two DIGs and the IG, of course, my friend Langat and the team, will find it worthwhile to use it even for protection of crime. And when the PS, Dr. Omolo, learned of it, he was very keen. You know, he's an academic, a person coming from academia. Yes. He was very keen and very happy that we have Kenyans publishing in this area, which is virgin and progressive technological discipline. Yes. Okay, nice.
So the launch is on the 4th of December 2025.
Correct.
At Weston Hotel.
Yes.
Lenana Hall.
Yes.
From, is it 5 or 5? 5 to 8:30.
Yeah. Correct.
Yes. And you're not only inviting lawyers. You know, they say lawyers, we love our professional colleagues. Who else is invited for this launch?
Sometimes lawyers are known to be mean. I don't know whether that is true. At one time, I almost branched off and told my wife I should go and do piloting. Then abandon this issue of law, or I go to medical school. Because people talk of lawyers and they don't trust lawyers, but I want to assure the populace, without lawyers, the population will not be existing. Even during Jesus Christ, even in the Bible, when the teachers of law, Jesus asked them some questions. Those who are lawyers, including the Pharisees, some of them. So having said that, we are not only inviting lawyers. The book is simplified. Actually, I have simplified it to the common language where even class 3 or grade 2 now, grade 4, grade 5 can read. My daughter in grade 3 and another in grade 5, they have read and they have understood. And I'm happy because I didn't want to use the legal jargons. Yes, yesterday in the strategy meeting, we planning committee, I have a small planning committee that's helping us to plan the launch where Major Albert Lshola, a friend of mine from the Air Force, told me that I see lawyers talking about partnership. I should go back and do law. Yes, the book is not only about law. It is talking about emerging technology and how do we leverage on emerging technology with the nexus of the law to propel our country to a second or first-class economic status. Yes. Okay. Because the president spoke about us moving from third world to first world. Then how are we moving towards that if we don't embrace technology? And that's why we are here. Lawyers, it's no longer a business of going to court to argue cases of who stole who, who stole what, or issues of ambulance chasing. We must now evolve and start talking about technological advancement and how do we plug in as lawyers to support the economy. Yes, so all are invited. Of course, the invitation may be limited because of the venue. The numbers are of invites only. But those who will want to probably reach out, they can always reach out for reservation purposes so that we don't have overwhelming numbers coming over. Yes.
So I know what is limiting is the number of physical attendees.
Yes.
But you mentioned that this will be a hybrid event.
Yes.
And so you will have a link for those who are willing to attend the book launch virtually.
Yes.
And maybe you can give your details where persons who are interested in attending virtually might get the link. So maybe you can share your number or your email address and even your LinkedIn.
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn. I think if you search Rodgers Manana, it's because speakers and all my writings are on LinkedIn. You can follow me. You can send a friend request, of course, and drop me an inbox. Of course, I just use Manana Rodgers or Rodgers Manana on my LinkedIn. And that's a professional handle platform that you can easily catch up with me. Other people, you drop me an email. My email is rodedman, RODED, rodedman 123 @gmail.com. Rodedman, RODED, rodedman @gmail.com. That's my email. I am also on Twitter. If you go to Twitter, you'll find Manana79. That's my verified account on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook. I have been very active on Facebook. I am a farmer, and when I go to the farming, I like recording. I'm also a fan of environment, just like yourself. And I like to encourage that you can also find me on Facebook. But my Facebook page, I think, is full so far. I think I exceeded 500. So I think I needed to unfriend a few. My number, I don't know whether it'll be gracious to give it out, whether it's... I may find Gen Zs greeting me and saying, give us complimentary copies. So I will want not to share it, but
we don't want you to be greeted.
Yes.
So whatever you've
given,
but of
course, in a good way. Maybe.
Yes. Whatever you've given is sufficient, and we'll have all those details again just below this video.
Yes.
There are people who may not be able to attend physically or virtually, but want to get a copy or copies for themselves to donate to an institution. How do they get a copy or copies of this book?
Yes, so far, there are two approaches. Of course, as you said, during the launch, we'll also have a hybrid streaming in live. People from Hague, I think Professor Dire from the ICJ, International Court of Justice, if he has insisted, he might come. If not, he will be joining us virtually from Netherlands. However, those who will not manage to get the book during the launch and get the signature of the author, I have a few books available. So, of course, if you get in touch with CM, the law firm, they know how to get hold of us. We are yet to distribute the books to the bookshops around, but we'll make efforts so that the bookshops around Nairobi may also have visibility. But I work for the Kenya Port Authority. That is one of where we are found. And we have people, volunteers helping in distribution of hard copy if they want. But the soft copy are available. You order. Springer is very good, reputable, best publisher. You can order your book online, pay online, and receive your shipped copies from Europe to your doorstep. So you don't need to really struggle. But of course, the copies ordered from abroad, they don't have that discount. I think the soft copy is going for 117 euros, hard copy going for 139 euros. But we have a few copies that came to me, and I pleaded with them because these books are expensive. I cannot even afford them myself. So I will be discounting them at around $86 or to $100 US dollars. So those who will be attending and those who are in Nairobi and they really wish to donate, and I encourage law firms, you have them stocked in your law firm. You can buy and distribute them to your school, even primary school, secondary school. They can read this book and they now start loving issues of drones because issues of AI, I've talked about that in the book. So our children, as they grow up, let them know that they can be pilots of these drones. And let me tell you, my viewers, people are looking only at the small drones which have capability of taking photographs. But where we are heading, and I want you to quote me today, we have now manufacturers of drones where people are going to order drone like a Uber. You sit, request a Uber, a drone flies to your compound, you get in and you are dropped to the next destination. Just imagine that advanced air mobility. That's where we are heading. Air cargo, we have now huge capabilities, fleets of drones that are being manufactured to transport cargo from one destination to another destination. So ordinarily, in the past, people thought drones will just be used for only leisure and photography. But where we are heading to the future, drones are going to really change the dynamics of how people relate to each other and how we coordinate. So we are heading there. Nobody knew that one time you will order an Uber on your app and the Uber will come to your doorstep. Yeah. So we are heading there even on matters of drone. So far, I tell you of a story of a gentleman who was very shy to propose to the girlfriend. And fortunately, the young man knew how to operate a drone. So during Valentine, what he did, he bought the most expensive chocolates, very nice flowers, very good with a ring, and commanded the drone to drop the package to the lady's homestead. Now parents were wondering, with a note, of course, because now he could only explain himself in writing, not physical. And when the girl received the presents, of course, the rest is history, and they ended up marrying. They're happily married together. So you can imagine how technology is being used for the better. And of course, technology can also be misused. That's why the book talks about issues of security, privacy and data protection. How are you going to protect? Because you cannot take photographs of me from aerial vantage point without my consent. Those are the issues that now we need to venture into. Issues of safety, issues of environmental conservation. How are we going to use, like now, poaching in the parks? The book is speaking about, instead of you having very many rangers with fire walking in the bush and patrols, and they're being monitored from above, use the drones. You just do aerial surveillance, and they will tell this is the area of where we have poachers. Or the Chapat range in Laikipia, they have actually gone towards that direction. Issues of course, farming, issues of agribusiness are being picked up. So issues of border control, issues of survey and surveillance, large tracts of land. You don't need now to have GPS walking to land all throughout. You go to northeastern, is highly sparse area with large tracts of land. I've spoken about how surveyors now, modern surveying, people who are studying surveying, with they are not going to use the normal catastrophe, the mapping system of demarcation of land. Yeah, they are using drones and flying and getting, within a very short time, you have the coordinates and the beacons all set up for you. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Those are very nice insights. Some things I'm learning about today, courtesy of this interview.
Yes.
As I began, I said at CM Academy, we celebrate professionals who are using their skill and knowledge to offer practical solutions to our everyday challenges. Apart from me interviewing you here, I am also your friend.
Yes.
So I know about your professional journey.
Yes.
And speaking to the professionals, I know apart from being a professional lawyer, you also have other professions you ascribe to.
Yes.
And maybe we have a professional here who maybe went to school for a certain degree, certain line of work, but they have found themselves in another space.
Yes.
Maybe talk to them how you've been able to navigate your other professional directions and law and merge them, how they've been able to work for you.
Okay.
Yes.
I thank you very much, Stella, and for mentioning that. For the benefit of this full disclosure, we were in law school together, and we have remained good professional friends with Stella, who is very passionate about matters of then feminism. She really encouraged some of us to, and I didn't know that one time I'll be a father of only daughters. So matters of jungling the professions, I look at. Of course, I want to encourage. Let me thank the CM and this platform, particularly, and our organizers of event, Mora here, for organizing, because we need to use this forum to encourage even students who are struggling. You are still speaking, and having a meal was even a problem. But that did not deter us from working hard. Yes, I have graduated 7 times in the universities. That is something that I don't talk about. Yes. Of course, my first degree was not law. And I got motivated because I thought lawyers are people who fight for justice. They speak on behalf of others. They don't want bad things happening, and they are watching. So even those who are not lawyers and they are struggling with their studies, I want to encourage you to never lose hope in life. do whatever you can with your energy. I will confess, and I'm happy our photographer is here watching. When I was in law school, I used to take a photograph as part of my side hustle to make my pocket money because my parents will not pay fees for me. So I will check where the weddings are for me to go. I hire cameras, go to videography, because I learned PR as part of my side hustle. I have a diploma in PR. I'm a registered member of Public Relations Society of Kenya. So I had to really jungle around, and part of the profits that I was getting will pay partly fees, pay my rent. So you can actually plug in young professionals. Do not limit yourself to one profession. And if you are agile and you are willing to learn, please make a point of doing another degree. And if you have a certificate, go for a diploma of your choice. Go for a degree. If you have one degree, go for IT. Now, I saw people making fun of the president, but that is, the president is going to enroll for AI. We should also learn. That's a very encouraging. We should not make fun of it. It's an encouraging. We must learn AI because that's where we are headed to. So among us all this journey that we have walked, we have seen the hand of God individual, and I want to encourage this academy, particularly the Cyrus Maina and team, and your team of advocates, to appreciate you for encouraging youngsters. And let's have those who have succeeded, please hold a hand of another person, whether it's your relative or one of your relative. I have personally succeeded in life being held a hand by non-relatives, friends. I have, for example, my wedding was fully supported by friends. My mother, when she passed on, I cannot imagine how friends came in. So the value of helping other persons succeed, and I attribute this to the late Michael Malwa, the late VP then, whom we were also volunteering and taking videos during his political campaign in 2002 when I was in the university. He handed me over to Matthew Malwa, who was like my now big brother. And through this networking, you'll find that you will succeed not by hiding from friends. Yes. You must light your lamp, put it on the table, and continue talking to people and being honest. Integrity is key. Just be trustworthy, because we are living still in a world where people now no longer mean what they say. Yes, people talk this, but they don't mean what they want to do. So lies have become order of the day. People go to church because of fun. On Monday, they are different people. So where did the rain start beating us, even as lawyers? And if you are giving a client, are you going to be accountable to the client? That's why you find some of us are venturing to academia and finding other niche areas that we can at least shine. And the limitation, we are only limited by our capability. Let us not limit our jurisdiction. We are now going global. The world has become global. Value-added proposition, yes, then we will get there. The field of media, social media is here with us. We use it positively towards the empowerment of humanity. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Manana. Those were powerful exhortations, especially for the young people who are planning to join any professional. Please listen to that. Integrity, networking, very important. And maybe what I didn't disclose and what I should be disclosing now is that at CM Academy, we have come up with a learning management system. And we're inviting professionals, even like you, to come and package courses and offer them through our platform. So if you have a course and you're interested in partnering with us to offer those courses, please feel free to write to us at info@cmacademy.co. Sorry, I'm getting that. I think it's info@cmacademy.com. And we will gladly engage and see how to partner. Dr. Manana, congratulations once again on the achievement.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing the insights you have shared with us. And we hope that our listeners and our viewers will find them helpful. They will look towards buying the book. And for those who have universities and colleges and you want to support, please buy this book and donate to them. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Manana, the author of the law regulating unmanned aircraft systems in the United States. South Africa, and Kenya. That book opens up a critical conversation on drones, the law, and technology in Kenya. As a parting shot, we are delighted for you having given us the time and shared your knowledge on the book. And we urge all of you to stay connected to the CM Academy platforms on LinkedIn, on X. And we've got a lot of interesting articles on the intersection between the law and our everyday life. We believe the law is not just something amorphous. It must affect and help us achieve whatever we set out to do in our everyday lives. If you're a professional and you would like to be featured on this podcast to share your insights, just as Dr. Manana has done, feel free again to write to us at info@cmacademy.com. We'd really love to hear from you. And as I had mentioned, we have the learning management system, which we will be launching soon. So stay tuned. We will provide more updates. Until next time, thank you.